Overtone, one of the best live music venues in Bangkok, and we're here to see Tommy Emmanuel and Martin Taylor, two of the finest guitar players on this planet, who've just released their first album, and I can't wait to see it, play a tune off from it live. I'm here with Tommy Emmanuel, one of my favourite guitar players in the world. Pleasure, great to see you. Your guitar sounds, how they blend together so well. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's a very different. Martin's obviously playing like a jazz guitar with F holes and a pickup, and I'm using the Maiden guitar, which has a mic which is wide open. I'm using the mic flat out, and the pickup. So I'm sort of going for that half Django type sound, but with a kind of a little bit more, I don't know, rock kind of edge to it, you know. And because of the frequencies of Martin's guitar, it makes it so good. If I played the same kind of guitar, it probably wouldn't work, you know. But it works so well with him with that sound and me with this sound. And when you put that into a big PA, it really sounds great.
It's a huge, absolutely huge sound. I wanted to ask you, when you made this album, and when you sit down and actually, well, from your busy schedules and everything, actually found the time to actually record it. When you sit down and write a song, how do you decide what key that song is going to be in?
Well, if I'm writing a song, I'm usually looking for the right key to play it in, and where the
sometimes it just sound better in different keys.
There's a song of mine that a lot of people know called Angelina, and I wrote that song in D, right, with the E string dropped down to D, right? That's where I wrote it. But one day I played it with the capo on the second fret, and it was like, that's where it belongs. That's where the melody sings, you know. So as far as the stuff with Martin goes, most of the tunes are kind of repetitive, and there's lots of space for soloing, improvising in that. So what we needed to do was to find nice ways of slipping in key changes and things like that. So finding a good key to set up the song in, for instance, the song Jersey Bounce starts in G, then the first solo straight into A flat. Now we're up a little more, you know, and then we move up to A, and we're soloing, and then right when you think we're going to stay there, we move up to B flat, you know, and so it's a way of constantly keeping the listener engaged, and of course some of the other songs like Won't Last a Day and Heat Wave and tunes like that, we wanted to find a way of making those sound full, and so you do that by finding the right key and getting the right bass notes down there and stuff like that.
It's really pure. It's a very pure sound and organic, and it's
it's two guys playing and improvising and listening to each other.
I have to say, because you are both so amazing, when you play with each other, you must be astounded at each other's solos, and he's like, oh my God, he just played that chord, and looking at each other and thinking,
well,
I can't believe you just did that.
The government's full of surprises.
Okay.
And I'm always waiting for them. I'm listening and waiting for them.
It's fantastic. Nashville, you recorded in Nashville.
That's right, Liv. And what happened was when Martin and I started planning this album, we're both so busy and we're in different parts of the world. What we did is, once we were getting close to what we thought was a pretty good list of songs, I said to Martin, I've got this West Coast tour, can you fly in and do some dates as a surprise guest kind of thing, and give us a chance to work up the arrangements. And then, so he did that, then we got home to Nashville, and we had the studio booked. We just kind of finished off structure of what we were doing, and then we went in the studio for like 3 days or something.
I know, it's amazing, amazingly fast to record such an amazing
we don't need
album.
a lot of time because it's about capturing a performance, not manufacturing one. It's about capturing what we just did here in this room. It's about capturing that, you know, and not labouring,
keeping it real and pure
exactly.
and organic. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Young people starting out playing guitar, advice.
I always tell people, first of all, give yourself lots of time. It takes a long time to get anywhere at all with the instrument. But what you need is to be inspired. You need to keep yourself in a state of being inspired, and you do that through good songs. So learn some good songs, and keep yourself challenged enough to keep, you know, if someone says to you, well, you've got to practice all your modes and all your scales so you know about music, that's kind of important, but it's not as important as playing songs.
It doesn't keep the passion there.
And it doesn't, I don't care who you are, you will get bored with it. You know, you need to have good songs to play. So the other thing is, when you're working on a song and you think you've got it down, record yourself and have a listen. You know, play as best you can into whatever recording device you have, and then put the guitar down and listen.
Listen back to it.
And get that other perspective, and you'll soon know where you're at with it and what you need to work on. You know, that's
Tommy
what
Emmanuel,
you need to know.
Tommy, thank you so much for being. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
You too, bro. Thanks a lot.
And delight me.
Hi, I'm here with Martin Taylor. And, I just heard you and Tommy play some most amazing music I've heard in years. How did you guys get together?
Well, we first met, I think it was about 20 years ago, a bit more than that, about 22, 23 years ago, in Australia. And I'd toured Australia once before with Stefan Grappelli. I was working with Stefan. And then that was my first solo tour in Australia. And I went on a TV program, a Saturday night TV program called Hey Hey It's Saturday,
Yeah, I know
which
it
I'm
well.
sure you'll be familiar with. And Tommy was watching on TV, and he contacted them and said, "Could you let me know where I was staying and everything?" So the next day, I got a phone call from Tommy, and I didn't know Tommy at that time. Tommy was only really known in Australia at that time. His world fame hadn't quite burst at that time. So everyone was talking about Tommy. So yeah, I really want to meet this guy. So when he phoned me, I said, "Yeah, great." So he had a concert at the State in Sydney, and he invited me along to be a guest on that night. I went up and I played a few tunes, and then we became very good friends. Then when he moved to the UK, I was the first person that he rang and said, "You know, I'm in the UK. I don't have any work. Nobody knows me here. And, you know." And so I put my
Couldn't find a hotel.
No, he had somewhere to live. So I gave him my son's contact number. So because my son manages me, he's been managing me for years, and we started working together. He came along to a concert that I did very near where he was living in England, and then it just kind of. Once people started hearing him, as always with Tommy, once you hear this guy play, that's kind of it, you're hooked. So I also had a guitar festival which I ran for 6 years in Scotland, and when I put a list together, all the guitar players that I wanted to play there, he was at the top of the list, my wish list. So I rang him and said, "Do you want to come and play the festival?" "Yeah, I'd love to." And he was very responsible for making the festival so successful. Was because everybody just looked forward to having Tommy there every year.
With Tommy, I find with his playing and yourself, it's just so pure and it's so honest and real. I think it transcends through your music to the people that can't help but have a good time.
Well, we've certainly reached a time in our lives when we can just play what we want to play. So if people like it, then that's great. We love that. If they don't, well, it's okay. We're
You're having a good time anyway.
We're having fun. But as it happens, I mean, we just played in China and we're playing all this music from the 30s and 40s, real swing music. And the audience, it was a rock and roll kind of stand-up gig, and all the young audience in there were just going wild for it. They loved the music, because I don't think we just played it without a label attached to it. I think if you said, "Oh, there's a jazz concert going on," then that some people say, "Oh, yeah, I'll go to that." Some think, "Well, I'm not sure about jazz," but say, "Well, these two guys playing guitars, you've got to go and see this." Then the listener goes in without any preconceptions.
That's right. And it's the same with blues. If you say to somebody, "Oh, I'm going to see a blues band," no, I don't like blues. I don't want to be depressed by it. But if you don't tell them it's blues, and they're going to hear a great blues band, they walk away having a fantastic time. I wanted to ask you, when you guys finally got together, this record, it seems, had to be made. I mean, it took quite a while for it to come to fruition, didn't it? Do you have any treasured moments of that recording session when you actually sat down and stuff was happening and you go, "Wow, this is really happening"?
Well, there were so many actually. We recorded it in Nashville, and we spent the first day really just getting the sound together. And we booked the studio for eight days, and we actually recorded it in 3. Wow. Because as soon as we sat down, once we got the sound right on the first day, we went in and we just started to play, and it just all happened. We played together quite a few times, and we did some dates on the West Coast during that time, just before that. So when we got into the studio, we just started to play. It was just magical straight away, and I just knew, this is going to be very special. I always knew it would be, and we both wanted to do this for a long time. We just had to wait for the right time, because we're both so busy.
That's right.
I tour a lot. Tommy tours an incredible amount. He's always touring. So even getting together to rehearse and work out, we had to try and find a time where we were in the same part of the planet at the same time.
Young people starting out, taking up a guitar. What's your advice?
Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. My advice is, I'm often asked by young guitar players and young musicians for advice, for going into music as a profession. And it's a very precarious thing. Well, kind of everything is, really. But just play music for the love of playing music. See where that takes you. Now, if along the way, like it happened for me, you actually find that people are willing to pay to come and see you play, and you can make a living from. I always just saw it. It got to a point by the time I left school that I was playing enough and getting paid enough money playing the guitar. I didn't need to get a job. That was kind of how I looked at it. So I would just say, stick with. Just always play for the love of music, because even now, after all these years, I've been a professional musician for 40 years. Even now, I play for music. It's the music that's number one.
Music comes first
for me. And if you can find a way for yourself, if you can find a place for yourself within the music world, the professional music world, then all very well. But you may not be able to find that. So don't go into it. Don't go into it for fame and fortune. You may have some success, you may not. It's all a gamble. So the only reason to do it, to pursue it that way, is if you just keep the love of the music the whole time, and just do it for the love of playing, and anything else that's going to come to you from that.
And to learn from it.
And of course, learning is incredibly important.
Thank you so much, Martin. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And you can see the passion and the energy you've got for your music. 50 years later is still there.
Well, we still enjoy doing it.
Thank you so much.